Good morning, my dear friends. Today we are going to talk about book review. And before that, let me introduce myself. This is P. Krishnamurthy, lecturer in English, working at Government Degree College for Women, WANAPARTHY. And very, very good morning. I invite each and everyone to this video class. And we are going to celebrate a festival of learning in this class. And so in the previous class, we had the benefit of understanding and knowing about the film review. And today we are going to talk very exclusively about the benefits and what you understand by book review. And so many a time that when you go to any book market, maybe when you go to Koti Center, when you go to more market in China, you find lot of books, and some in some of the bookshops, you try to know the reviews and the criticisms of the great writers on the great pieces of this literature. That's why book review is not a is not an ordinary thing. When you want to review a book, and what is going to be owned by you, what kind of the talent that you possess, and million questions may come to our mind. So before that, let us try to understand what exactly do we understand by book review. So today we'll talk about the book review, and I would like to ask a question to you. What's your opinion about book review? What exactly do you understand by book review? What is it called, book review? And what the critic or the book reviewer, so what does it do about that book review? Book review is an art of presentation. For your kind information, it's an art of presentation. It's a critical presentation. It is an artistic presentation. So writing a book is one kind of job, but telling and reviewing about that book, it's more crucial. Because so you can write whatever you wish to write. When you have something in your mind, when you have some creative idea in your mind, you can write a piece of literature, you can just submit to the society, and you keep quiet, and you may enjoy if you receive a lot of praises. But you think about this book review, you have to be very, very critical. You have to understand the basic format, and you have to understand the story, you have to understand the format, and you have to understand the structure. You need to know that process that is involved in book reviewing. That's why I would like to say that when book reviewing is an art of presentation, critically and analytically or artistically. Book review is not a routine process. I would like to say, my dear friends, it's not a routine process. That's why writing an essay on something else, and writing a story on some other issue, and reflecting creative writing on some other thing, of course, there are also very, very tough jobs, but you can write because there is no one to read, there is no one to assess your thing. You write a poem for yourself and read it, and just keep in your bag, and just keep it for your sake only. But when book is released in the market, when book is read by many people in the society, what happens? So there will be a lot of positive comments and negative comments also. And at that time, it is the job of the book reviewer. So he just creates an opinion in the minds of the readers that this book is a positive book. This book has got a lot of value. It is a book on morals. It's a book on ethics. It's a book on history. It's a book that has to be read. So when this idea is created in the society, people begin to read your book, and that is going to be a blockbuster and a very, very important book in the society. It is going to be a celebrated book. That's the reason that I say to you, book review is not a routine process. It involves creativity. It involves critical thinking. It involves artistic aptitude also. Book review requires several skills, I say that. So when you want to be a book reviewer, so it requires a lot of skills. When you happen to attend any writers meetings, when you happen to be a member in any forum, a literary forum, you understand how the writers and how the critics, so they just cudgel their brains on very, very subtle things only. And we think that, Is that matter that is going to be talked for 1 hour? Is that matter that is going to be talked for hours together? What is there in that one? But the people who are involved in that one, definitely they do understand, they do. So examine that one, they do evaluate, they assess about that particular point that has been mentioned in any book. In that way, that I would like to say to all of you that book review requires a lot of skills. What kind of skills that you need to have when you want to be labeled as book reviewer in the society? That's nothing but knowledge, understanding, capacity. You need to have that knowledge skill. You should have that comprehension skill. You should have that capacity to assess and evaluate anything. So it's a dynamic activity. It's not a very static activity. It's a dynamic activity that the more you read, the better you understand. The more you comprehend, the better critical approach that you develop. That's the reason book review, it's a mind, it's a festival, it's a feast for your thinking, it's a feast for your mind, it's a great feast for you. And the people who have got real taste to review the books, and definitely they are going to make it wonderful. Sometimes, so if I say that, it's not going to be an exaggeration if I say that sometimes the success of any book depends on its review. The success of any book review, so depends on its review. So midnight, so what do you call that? A book is called a famous book, maybe Satanic Verses. So a book which became very, very popular across the world, of course it was banned so in the world, but it became very popular. The people, the great learned scholars who read that book, they just went on giving their reviews that it's a book, it's a wonderful book. But of course, it has been taken into biased statements, and of course, it was banned, But sometimes, a book has got a positive review and negative review, and it doesn't matter whether it's going to be banned or whether it's going to be permitted for the circulation. It's not our cup of tea that we have to talk about that one. But sometimes it happens. So the success of a book depends on its review. So let us see what is there in book reviewing. What is book review? Book review is a balanced assessment of book. Book review is a balanced assessment of a book. When you review a book, it should be balanced. It should be very, very balanced, and it should be excellent also. People have to praise your way of presentation. So it's not so easy that you just provide a review about a book and just sleep like that. It's not like that, You may receive a lot of criticism also when your review is not up to the mark, The book writer may take you to task, and he will ask you, right? How did you just create this review? Have you read this book? Have you gone through this book? And you just criticize this character in this book? You criticize that so-and-so character. You have just criticized the language that has been written by me. What is your estimation about this book? What is your assessment of this book? So like that, the book reviewer should be in a position to receive all kinds of criticisms. Sometimes, you may receive positive criticism. Sometimes you may receive negative criticism, but you are meant for that. You are supposed to face anything. You are supposed to give answers to all the questions. That's the reason you need to have communicative skill. So book review, it is a balanced assessment of a book. It is not just a passing time. It's not a passing time. So just you don't have any time, you don't have any work to do, just to take a book and just to write a review on that one and just to throw into market. It's not like that, no. It requires a lot of things. It's a great business also. It's a great thing that has to be achieved by the critics, that has to be achieved by the book reviewers. And it offers a brief description of the book. It offers brief description of the book. It offers key points of the book. Suppose the book is voluminous. The book is around some 1,000 pages. And in this modern world, people do not have any time. They want to go to offices, they want to go to colleges, they want to go to universities. They have their own personal life. They don't find any time to read. They don't have any time to allot a lot of time to read the book, voluminous books. Maybe sometimes the novel may have 1,000 books. 1,000 pages, and sometimes even 2,000 pages also. At that time, he or she doesn't find any time to read the entire book. At that time, those people, they prefer to read whatever the review that is uh, given on that particular book. So first they read the review, later on they go into that one. If it is interested, if the review is a positive review, if they, after reading that review, they arrive to the conclusion that this book is really worthy of reading. When they feel that this is worthy of reading, immediately they just buy that book from the market and just begin to read. Though it may be 1,000 pages, though it may be it may be of about some 2,000 pages also. Once the reader decides that this is going to be very, very enchanting book, because the review says that it is a readable book, and that is the importance of book review. Based on your review, the members in the society, they just pick up the book and just go on reading that one. When your review is not right, when your review is not up to the mark of the writer, then you see that there won't be any readers at all. There are some books, they don't find any readers at all. So when you go to library, some books are repeatedly read by the lovers of the books, but some books, people don't spend time to read those books because the reviews are not given. Reviews are not given. Whenever you want to buy even any commodity, any object or anything from Amazon market, you think about that review. What are the positive reviews? What are the negative reviews? Suppose you want to buy any book through this Amazon. So what happens? You just read that book. You just read the review of that book. So how many positive reviews are given? So this is going to be worth reading. So let me order to Amazon and let me get the book from Amazon. So you may feel of ordering. Otherwise, you don't feel of ordering the book and you don't feel of reading that book. That's the reason that I say that it offers key points of the book. It evaluates the strengths and weaknesses of the book. The book review is not a cakewalk business. It is not simple business. It's not a simple work. So it projects, focuses the strengths and weaknesses of the book. What are the strong points in the books? What are the strong points in this book? What are the weak points in this book? So that's the reason. So now we'll just move on to the book review, its importance and uses. What is the importance of book review? What are the uses of book reviews? That we have to understand. Book review provides basic information of the book. It's a book review is nothing but a quick reference about a book. In universities like maybe Sri Venkateswara University or maybe Andhra University, maybe Central University, or maybe Osmani University or Kakati University, whenever you want to have quick information, there will be reference halls. There will be reference halls are there. Reference books are there. So since I am a student of English literature, whenever I have any idea, whenever I want to get quick information about any novel, I just go into that quick reference hall and I take the review books and I just read that one. Read the review about that book. So by reading that one, what do I get? I get the basic information about that novel, basic information about that drama, basic information about that story, basic information about that enchanting poetry. So the book review provides fundamental information, the very basic information, such as author. Who is the author of this one? What is the title of this one? Who is the publisher? And some other ideas are going to be given. It provides preview of the book. It provides reviewer's response. It provides a reviewer's response also. When you happen to read any grammar book, you find the opinions of the great personalities on the back side of the book, or maybe on the jacket of the book. You find that So how best it is going to be. So when you buy any book of any Oxford publishers, when you buy any book from coming from Cambridge University, Cambridge publishers, or from any other Murphy publishers, you just see the reviews about that book. Yeah, it's really worthy buying. It really provides a lot of knowledge about vocabulary. This book is a readable book. It's a book that every student and teacher need to have this book. When you read this kind of comment about the book, naturally you feel of buying, you feel of reading that book. That's the reason. So book review provides a reviewer's advice. It's one kind of a teacher. Book review is nothing but teacher's advice. All the time you cannot go to college or university and ask your teacher how best, what is your opinion about that book. But instead of that one, when you read, so the review about that latest book that is coming to the market, so maybe it's given, the review is given in the magazines, literary magazines, the review is given in the business magazine, the review is given in the daily newspapers, and what kind of the book it is. So the uses of that one. So these are the uses that you find. Next, what is involved in this book review? So when you want to become a book reviewer, what process is involved in book reviewing? You can't just take a piece of paper and a pen and just sit before a table and sit in a chair and begin to write whatever you have in your mind. Suppose a book is released in the market, and maybe last week it has come into the bookshops. You purchased that book and you took that book into home, and you, without reading that book, after reading that book also. So maybe after reading the book, so can you write reviews so easily? What process is involved? It is a scientific way. It's a scientific approach is also involved. You can't just you can't write a book review so casually, so easily. It's not so easy job that you can do it. It requires a lot of proliferation in your mind also. What process is involved? So to write a book review, in writing book review, that should be there. So what are the steps that are involved that you need to understand? So in the process of book reviewing, there are 4 steps that are involved. What are these 4 steps? Before you read, as you read, as you write, after you write. So before you read, as you write, after you write. These are the 4 things that you have to understand. Before you read, what process is involved? What has to be kept in your mind before you read a book? So what is the process that has to be evolved in your mind? So as you read the book, so as you read the book, what process is involved in you? What is to be included in your mind? As you write, so now you begin to write. So reading part is completed. So to write any review, first of all, you have to read thoroughly, critically, in a very in a creative manner also. You have to read that book in a very critical manner. So our reading process is completed. So before you read, what is to be done by the book reviewer? So as you read, what is to be done by you? After reading, as you write, what has to be kept in mind? After you write, so what is your reaction? What is there to be presented? These are the 4 steps involved in the process of book reviewing. When a person wants to become a good book reviewer, he or she is supposed to have this fundamental knowledge, the basic knowledge of the process of book reviewing. Until you have these 4 steps in your mind, you cannot come out as a good book reviewer. That you have to understand. The first step, before you read. The second step, so as you read. The third one, as you write. The fourth and the last one, after you read. So this process is really involved in book reviewing. And lot of things is there. It's not so easy. Just having a pen and just a paper and just writing whatever you wish to write, whatever you think of writing, whatever you like to write. It's not so easy job. But people think that, it's so easy. It's not so easy. And only book reviewers, only the people who write books, people who read books, they could only understand what kind of difficult work it is. Now, let us study step by step. So the process has got 4 steps of book reviewing. Now we are going to talk about the first step. What is it? What is the first step that is involved in the process of book reviewing? So before you read, what we have to do? What process is involved? So what process is included? What process is to be initiated before you read a book? First, what is the thing? What is to be known by that book reviewer? What is the title of the book? First of all, you read the title of the book. Some members, they just even don't read the total title of the book. They just will be carried away by some keywords of the title and just think that that is the novel. That is the title of the book. No, you can't do like that. You have to read in between lines. You have to read in between the lines. Every word has to be understood thoroughly by you. And especially, so try to know what is the title of the book. What is the meaning of the title? Reading, you can do it. So what is the title of the book? That you can easily know that one just by reading. But you try to understand the underlying meaning of the title. What made the writer to choose this title for this novel, this title for this book? So what is the speciality? What is the inner meaning involved in this title? Is there any special meaning involved in this one? Does the writer have any idea, inner idea, to say, to invoke the minds of the reviewers and readers? So you try to understand in deeper manner the real meaning of the title. As to who is the author? So knowing the title, knowing the meaning of the title, and who is the author. So when you come to know that, who is the author? So when you read about the novels of Mulkraz Anand, you feel that in all the novels of Mulkraz Anand, you find that there will be clash between the poorer section and rich section. There will be clash between class and mass. There will be clash between oppressed or suppressed sections and the people who are just dominating. There will be clash between the sufferers and the people who dominate. Like that, once you know the writer's name, then you understand his philosophy. You understand his philosophy. Only by knowing the philosophy of that particular writer, you can easily comprehend, you can easily understand the underlying meaning of the title and the bottom line of the sentences. So who is the author? What else has the writer written? So what else has the writer written? What does the author usually write about? Because some writers are branded for writing about political issues. Some writers are branded for religion. Some writers are related to only social issues. Some writers are only revolutionary writers. Some writers are meant for only romantic writing. Some writers are just meant for only creative writing. Like that, some are branded. And what kind of book is it? It is of imagination or practical things. So when you read the title, when you know the author name, you try to understand. Is it going to be an imaginative book? It's all about imagination. Is it all about a practical thing? Is it all about social issue? That you have to understand. So what is the structure of the book? What is the structure of the book that you have to understand? How many chapters of the book has got? How many pages the book has got? How many chapters are there? Whether the book has preface, introduction, and others. So before You read any book, you have to thoroughly understand all these items which I have mentioned, and the book's physical appearance also, size and point quality. So you try to see the book. So what is the size of that book? Is it just a normal size? Is it in normal size? Is it in a larger size? You try to understand. So all these items, so that you have to keep in your mind before you read. This is a pre-idea, conceiving pre-idea before reading a book. So possessing pre-idea about the book. That's very, very important for any reader or for any book reviewer. That is to be. What is the second step? The second step, as you read, so the real work starts from now. Of course, before you read, you read the name of the title, understand the name, understand the title, so understand the nature and philosophy of the writer. Okay, it's all right. But when you come to the second step, as you read, then you begin to understand the real depthness of his writing. You better understand the quality of his presentation, the quality of the writer's presentation. You begin to understand, so what are the positives and negatives, where you agree with him, where you don't agree with him, where you agree to his point, where you don't agree to his point. Generally, every book consists of three elements. So before, as you read, you have to keep in your mind, the book reviewer has to keep in his mind. So as you read, there will be, every book consists of three things. Content. Without content, you cannot write. Form. What is the form selected by the writer? What is the special attention in this book? These three things that you have to keep in your mind. What is the content? How is the content? How is the content dealt by the writer? How is the content presented by the writer? What is the content here that he has taken? And that is the thing that you have to understand first of all. What is the form? Which kind of form that he has applied to just to express his views and her views? So we'll study this second step in detailed manner, because as you read that you understand. Here, the first one, content. What is the book about? First of all, you have to understand, what is the book about? Is it about fantasy? Is it about any social issue? Is it about any problems being faced by the women? Is it about any slavery? Is it about any political issue? Is it about any love theory or romantic theory? Is it about any personality? Like that, in the content, as you read, the content is very, very important. What is the book about? How is it written? How is it written? So how is it written? The content, so how is it presented? Of course, how is it content? What is the theme that you have to understand? In content, the theme and the subject. What is the overall theme of this book? And what is the subject that he has taken to deal that theme? So subject is dealt with that particular theme. Keeping that theme in your mind, the writer just progresses his way of writing and reaches to his theme. He always tries to build up a consensus coordination between theme and subject. So what kind of a theme it means? It explores freedom, slavery, friendship, beauty, like that. So you have to deal, so you have to understand whether concrete manifestation of abstract idea. Sometimes the writers, they present all abstract ideas. Whether the writer is successful in presenting these abstract ideas in a concrete manner, that you have to understand. So that's all about the content part. The second part that we have to understand, form of the language. Form, the format, the form. Form here is not the structure, the procedure. the procedure the writer has selected. So here form that includes language. What kind of language is chosen by the writer? What kind of style is chosen by the writer? And how is the narrative technique? What kind of narrative technique is applied by the writer? From which point of view that he is dealing with? What is the setting of this novel? How the topic is set? How the content is set? So that is called, is there any symbolism? And this also. In 19th century, 20th century, symbolic writings came into limelight like anything. For example, we think about this W.B. Yeats in the 20th century. So also symbolic poetry, symbolic writing, symbolic novels, they became very, very popular. That's the reason 19th century, 20th century. And so a lot of revolutions took place in literature across the world. Not only I'm not mentioning about English literature, I'm just mentioning so the literature related to all parts of the world. In every language, revolution took place in literature, in every language. That's why form has to be understood by this book reviewer. Next is special attentions. The main theme or the chief argument. What is the main theme that is taken by the writer to argue? Argument with proof evidence. Is he arguing? Has he made any argument with any evidence? Important characters, events in the book. What are the important characters that are presented by the writer? What are the important events that are mentioned by the writer that you have to understand? And language and style, of course, as I mentioned in the second point also, tone, mood of the book, the tone. Some characters are very aggressive characters. Some characters are comedians. Some characters are so villainish. Some characters are very heroic. Some characters are dominating. Some characters are very submissive. All these are the creation of the writer. But the book reviewer has to understand each and every aspect of the writer. So tone also. Tone also, that's special features of the book. What are the special features of the book that one has to understand? Now, let's move on to the third step. That reading part is over. Before you read, as you read, so you have read. You just feel that the reading of the book is completed. Now your task begins. Now you begin to write a review on that completed on that book. How do you put your pen on the paper? How do you begin to write that review on the completed book? So after reading the book, forming an opinion about it. So naturally, anyone after reading any book or any passage or any pamphlet or anything, so definitely one will arrive to a kind of opinion. Like that, a book reviewer also arrives to one opinion. He might have formed an opinion about the book. Of course, that opinion may be revealed when he begins to write it. So begin with a short summary of the book. Don't begin reviewing. Don't begin to review with a lot of disturbance also. Begin with a short summary of the book. First of all, you provide the summary of the book in a few sentences. Provide further details of the book in the following paragraphs. Provide your evaluation. That's why short summary about the book in the very beginning. So short summary, a brief account of the book has to be mentioned in the first paragraph or maybe in the first paragraphs that you have to mention. In the second, third, maybe in the middle paragraph that you have to give a lot of summary details about that one. Details of the book. So when you come to the end of the book, then when you come to the end of that review writing, you have to give your evaluation, your summing up, your evaluation, your assessment. So as evaluation, it matters more and more because the last line, it is going to trigger the positive points of the book or the negative points of the book. So it changes the panoramic view of the writer also. That's why evaluation part is very, very important of book reviewing. It is not just a summary of the book. Evaluation doesn't mean that you just give the summary of the book. Sometimes in the examination, when a question is asked by the examiner in a question paper to write an essay on so and so thing critically. So 90% of the students, they begin to write the entire summary of the poem, entire summary of the short story, entire summary of that literary piece. It's not like that. It means to say that the students do not understand. Students go wrong in understanding the question. That's the reason you have to understand the question thoroughly. Think you are a book reviewer. Think so you are a book reviewer. That I just repeatedly saying this one. Don't think that you are only reader of the book. You have to think that you are the book reviewer of the book. So you are a critic. I would like to say only one thing. You are going to do the job of a critic. So read the book critically. Now you have to give the evaluation. Fourth step is it's also very focusing point here. Evaluation is not giving summary. Evaluation is a critical evaluation of the book. You have to evaluate the book critically. That evaluation has to be accepted by all the members. Even the writer also should accept your evaluation. Yeah, this book reviewer has done excellent evaluation about my book. So there are some pitfalls that are done by me here while writing. Okay, in the next novel, in the next book, I just cover all these things and I just present. I just improve my that one. That's why a critic is not only a critic. A critic is one who is a great person who can provide a lot of help to the writer also. So evaluation is an excellent one that you have to present. You have to evaluate at the end, so thoroughly, critically, so point to point and perfectly also, without any bias in mind. So let us go to the step 4. After you write, so somehow that book review is written. Now you are going to present it. You are going to send it to the newspaper. You are going to send it to any media. You are going to send it to in the form of a book also. Maybe you are going to send it to any pamphlet. You are going to send it to any magazine. So you are going to send that review for reading. And before you send, after writing your review, so just do the 4th step. Reread your review. Reread your review. What you have written, you just read once again. Read the review that is written by you on that particular book. Recheck the following things. Because we're all human beings. We do some mistakes. We have something in our mind, but while delivering the matter, maybe writing something else, so suddenly we'll be disturbed and we have some idea in our mind and we write some other idea here. So you have something like that, So recheck the following. Spelling. So recheck the following. Spelling. Factual information. Recheck the following. Spelling, factual information, accuracy, logic. So logic of your argument, language, style, tone, balance between information and like that. So recheck the following. So step 4 that includes reread your review, recheck the following items, check the spellings while writing, while printing. So some spellings might have been printed, might have been written wrongly. Check your spelling. Check your factual information. You have something else in your mind, but while presenting the facts, you might have forgotten, you might have included some other thing that keeping something in your mind, So you recheck the factual information. Recheck accuracy, whether your information is accurate or not. So recheck the logic of your argument. So you have reviewed something with logic, whether that logic is maintained or not. Whether the logic is missed, that you have to check. Language, style of expression, and tone also. Balance between information and evaluation. So these 4 steps are involved in this one. Next, coming to structure of book review. Structure of book review. So, title. So now the structure. How the structure has to be. How the structure has to be. So the first one, title of the book review should be short and catchy. How is the book? How is it going to be book review? Can you write without having any understanding? As you wish? It's not like that. It has a format. It has a system. It has certain procedure. A good book review should maintain the process involved in that one. A good book review should have a structure, a proper structure. Though there is no any standard formula to write that book review, but we have to understand, we have to create that it should be like that. Here, the structure is being discussed. So the first one, title. Title of the book should be short, catchy, and suggestive of reviewers' assessment. It should be short book review. The title of the book review should be short and catchy. It should be very, very attractive. The moment the reader read that title of the book review, oh, he or she has to feel that, oh, this is going to be excellent review. No, let me read this one. Let me enjoy this one. Let me have that fun of that one. Let me have that knowledge of that one. And it should be suggestive also. Suggestive of reviewers' assessment. So that the title must be like that. Like example here, Chetan Bhagat. Chetan Bhagat of Girlfriend. Chetan Bhagat is a modern Indian writer, So of Girlfriend. You see the title? How beautiful it is. Of Girlfriend. So suggestive. So suggestion is given in the bracket. Old wine in new bottle. This is the title and the suggestive assessment of that one. So next coming to, so how is that opening statement? Second one is opening statement. It is crucial to the success of review. The opening sentence, it is the first and foremost point that for your success. You have to select the first sentence in such a way it should be piercing into the hearts, into the minds of the readers of the review. Lead paragraph. The first paragraph is the lead paragraph. Opening statement, opening line should be the very, very leading sentence and leading paragraph. Should grab the attention of the reader. The opening line and the first paragraph it's going to grab the attention of the reader. It should provide basic information. Remember this one. It should be attractive. It should be going to grab the. It should attract and grab the attention of the reader, and it is going to be the outlining sentence for your review. It should provide basic information too. The second point is completed. Next, the third one, discussion. The following paragraph. The first paragraph is the lead paragraph. First paragraph, so that you are going to give your total assessment, your feeling, your expression, your opinion, and by reading that first paragraph, the reader of the book review will arrive to certain idea that this book review is an excellent review. Like that, he has to think and she has to think. So the second, third, other later paragraph, the following paragraph should cover important aspects of the book. The later paragraphs, they should cover all the points. Relevant passages may be quoted. Now and then, while providing your book review, you have to quote some important lines taken from that book also. So discussion is to be done. Fourth one, assessment. Assessment of the book should be based on its merits and demerits. After reading that book, you have to assess that one based on merits and demerits also. What merits are there in the book? What demerits are there in this book? It should not be on personal opinion. Your assessment should not be on personal opinion. It's not going to be your personal opinion. You should be unbiased. When you are going to be book reviewer, you are a critic. You don't invite your personal ideas into that opinion. It should not be so personal. It should not be biased. It should not be you should not take your personal opinion like that. You should behave as the critic. You should behave as the book reviewer, and just present your very, very neutral opinion on that one. Whatever, the thing that appeals to the reader, and you feel that it should be reader targeted. Praise or criticism by the evidence from the book. If it is really worthy book, you praise that one with proper evidence. If it is a book which is not of worthy reading, just to criticize it with the evidence also, with a suitable tone. So conclusion. Fifth one is conclusion. Final paragraph is a lead paragraph. Remember, my dear friends, final paragraph is a lead paragraph. First paragraph is a lead paragraph, very important paragraph. Final paragraph is also a lead paragraph. So because in the conclusion, it's reviewers' comments are there. Reviewers' recommendations and rejections of the book are there. Reviewers' advice to the reader. Conclusion is also an important thing. There you find that it's a lead paragraph once again. You are going to make your comments, you are going to make your recommendations, you are going to make your advice to the reader. So all these ideas one has to keep, the book reviewer has to keep all these 5 points in the mind, all the 5 points in the structure of that book review. Then you can do it very well. Let us see that sample book review. For your information, now here is the sample book review. So here Ruskin Bond's novel is taken. The title of the book, The Blue Umbrella. The Blue Umbrella. Ruskin Bond's novel, The Blue Umbrella. So a poignant story of forgiveness. You see. So the title of the book is Ruskin Bond's novel, The Blue Umbrella. So the comment given by this writer, a poignant story of forgiveness. Lead paragraph. Now come to the lead paragraph. Ruskin Bond popular for his books for children. Ruskin Bond popular for his books for children. Everybody knows that most of his books are written for children only. He is popular for his books for children. It dramatizes the innocence of his life. So the first one, the book, the first paragraph, lead paragraph says it dramatizes the innocence of his life. Synopsis of the story. Let's call middle. So the plot. How is the plot? The Blue Umbrella revolves around a little girl, Binya, and village shopkeeper Ram Bharosa. So the plot totally revolves around a small little girl, Binya, and village shopkeeper Ram Bharosa. And details, denouncement, the details of the plot, climax and denouncement in the story is there. And the final assessment. Story captures the attention. That's called Ruskin Bond captures the emotion of children and the cunningness of Ram Bharosa. Story captures the attention of anyone. So this is the sample book review given to you for your better understanding. Next, we will just understand. We'll come to conclude this video class. And before we conclude this video class, let us think what we have learned from this class. I particularly know very well, I explained to you clearly what is meant by book review and discussed the importance and uses of the book review, explain the steps involved in the process of book review, known about the structure of book review, known about the sample of book review. All these points that are clearly explained to you. So in this video, my dear friends, I think everyone has understood very well all the points that are included. And before I just conclude this class, I would like to make a request and appeal to all of you. The students who have got critical thinking power, the students who have got capacity to think, the students who have got talent to write, the students who have got thinking power, the students who have got knowledge to think, the students who have got patience to read. So you also raise up yourself. You also raise yourself as the best book review writers. Everything is going to be a great career for you. Career is not that that you think that only teacher job is not a career, lecturer job is not a career, engineer job is not only a career, doctor job is not only a career. So career that you can create. From this topic, I would like to say to all my young friends, if you have interest to so label yourself as book review writer, and so sky is the limit for you, and you feel that you are going to read a lot of creative writings and you can just present your views, maybe within a short time you may be called, you may be getting name and fame in the society that he is the best book review writer, she is the best book review writer, and you can so earn money, you can earn fame, you can gain the attention of the public, you can also get the attention of the politicians, you can also be one of the best members in the society, and it's also one kind of Samaritanship. You can also help all the lovers of the book, because before reading the book, they would like to read the book review. Oh, this book review is written by so and so person. When they come to know that this is being reviewed by so and so person, definitely this is a good book, this is a watchable book, this is a readable book, and definitely we'll read this one. And you can acclaim to that position also, where everyone thinks about you, where everyone loves you, where every review is going to be applauded by you, applauded by everyone in the society. That's why I also make an appeal to all the people. Only conventional way of career, so you don't find so many opportunities to survive on this earth, and you can create a career from this one also. Book review is also one of the ways to mold your career and enchant your career, and so make your life very beautiful and very successful, and wishing like that. So I express my sincere thanks to all the people who have attended this class. Thank you very much, and thank you really very much for so listening to me. And all the best to you, my dear friends.